Well, according to a 2016 report, it is said that 1 in every 3 women is violated sexually before the age of 18, and that's why we're going to be discussing that on Open Mic. And definitely the best show in Africa has just started, and there is a new girl in town. You're going to be chilling with me, Brian Aseli, and of course the new girl in town,
Thandiwe, Yego. But Brian, remember, I'm not so new. I've been on a brief hiatus, but I'm back like I never left.
Definitely, and the topic of discussion is very simple. So I'm going about rape and sexual violation. And look at your screen right now. There's the leading question, the guiding question is, should the laws against rape be reviewed? Just look at it, it's running on your screen right now. Should the laws against rape be reviewed? And I just want to give you information on that. There's a big difference between rape and defilement. What's the difference?
Rape occurs when it's conducted over someone who's over the age of 18. Defilement is the abuse of minors. That's the biggest difference.
So on Open Mic, we're going to be talking about that. We have a very good panel, which is just here to make sure that this conversation continues and it goes on well. And of course, we're going to be having our very own features correspondent, that is Fatma Mohammed. Who'll be joining in to just tell us a brief about the same, because she did a documentary.
In Wajir, and she's going to be telling us about the situation and mahasla. So you better stay tuned, because you're going to learn a lot of stuff that you didn't know.
Speaking of which, we are going to go straight into the stories. It's very simple to say that we were treated to a very good weekend last weekend. It was Saturday, actually.
I'm not so sure. Kenyans don't think so. Kenyans don't think so.
There's this event that went down. Rick Ross, the boss, was in town, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that you guys grabbed your 10,000 shilling tickets.
10K. 10K. And the guy was sinking basically the whole time.
And so, this guy was in town. But watu wanasema huyu hakuwa Rick Ross, alikuwa ni mtu mwingine. Watu wanasema ni Omwami Ross, who was in town. Waluya wanasema huyo ni Ross because he's not looking exactly like what they expected.
Exactly, the memes.
People started saying that what we ordered versus what we got.
What we got.
Is like the same way you actually order something online.
Jumia, and then you get something else. And don't mention names, don't mention politics.
Exactly. Thandiwe Yego had more reports on the same.
Yes. Okay, so I haven't been sipping on the haterade lately, but there has been word that Rick Ross didn't really measure up to what fans expected last weekend. But let me not spill that tea before it's hot.
So body glittered in gold, following fundamentals and following in a rental.
42-year-old American rapper William Leonard Roberts, yes, that is his government name, aka Rick Ross, was in the country last weekend, and on Saturday, fans were ready to turn up and show out with the Maybach music boss, despite the horrid weather and not to mention traffic. Urban pop group Camp Mula was the opening act, and of course, Kama Kawaida.
Think you can handle Camp Mula?
In true Kenyan style, they killed it, followed by insanely talented acts like Calligraph, Nyashinsky, Timmy T. Dat. Hey, yo, what's up with the Rick Ross collabo? After a 1-hour delay, I mean, this guy was a correctional officer at some point. I mean, honestly, you'd think he'd have learned something about keeping time. Rick Ross finally got on stage. White throne and everything, you know, bossed up. But Kenyan fans felt like they were massively shortchanged of their 10,000 Kenya shilling tickets. He was allegedly lip-syncing throughout the show. He's doing the money dance all the way to the bank with an estimated net worth of $35 million. He also owns the Wingstop restaurant chain, which includes his newly acquired Checkers fast food restaurant in Florida. It's clear that Ross has the Midas touch and has expressed interest in investing in Kenya. Ross, I'ma be honest, I know nothing about business, but my middle name is Okusa. And if you know where that name is from, you know I'm from the land of chicken. So I can handle a job at a fast food restaurant. And that's the entertainment bit with Thandiwe Yego.
Addicted like Pookie that be controlling me.
Yeah, I got a chopper in the car.
I feel like that's all he did when he was on stage.
I cannot pay 10,000 shillings to go do. What up, people?
For like 16 minutes.
Yeah.
And he looked so like,
Yeah.
He had zero psych, zero energy. I was so disappointed.
That's a good story, by the way. I didn't know he has a clothesline.
He has a clothing line.
I didn't know.
He has a food chain.
Of course,
he owns a food chain.
He's big.
Yes.
How can he not own like a...
Exactly. All that chicken, I mean...
He got a chicken
that
store
explains,
too.
That explains his size. That explains his size.
And of course, we want to move into the film sector. Thandiwe Yego has already watched this movie. Mimi naingojea kama vile waseme. Sasa nasikia Black Panther iko mtaani, by the way. Ole mse wangu anaitwa Karisa kwa pale mtaani. Definitely atani hook up na hiyo Black Panther ya 50 bob. Watu wa 2D na 3D. Tumekuwa connected. What was 7D? Mnasemaje about Avengers?
Okay, so first of all, I feel like I'm sipping so much hatred today. Avengers was meh for me. You understand? Even though they broke the box office record with $640 million for the first, opening.
Wasi wa mtaani by the meh inamaanisha.
It didn't give me Black Panther chills, It didn't give me Black Panther chills. So I must say it was a dope movie, but yeah, it didn't do much for me. But the ending was dope, though. You should watch.
And it was the opening, and what was happening, by the way?
They $640 million. They beat Fast and Furious, which had $440 million. That's insane. That's a lot of money. Can you imagine what the other movies are going to make?
Mazaje hizo ni KDF ngapi?
440 million.
Hebu cheki mbulu yako uone Avengers walikuwa na nini ya kufanya mazejo. Hiyo dina nasikia ilikuwa imeweza kuweza. I hope Thandiwe ulienda hii pia?
Of course.
Okay. Bye. Cheki mbulu yako.
I'm on top.
This is a lot of excitement. To Spider-Man once wearing a Spider-Man hoodie. And I didn't even try and hide. I just showed up and was like, enjoy the movie!
Were people shocked, or were they accosting you?
The funny thing is someone comes up to me and they'll be like, oh my God, you're Spider-Man, hey. And I'm like, hello, how are you? And they go, you're English?
Well, super amazing, but then it beat Black Panther to win the pre-sale. That is the pre-sale of the film during the box office. That is Anthony and Joe Russo are the directors of this. I don't know if they're brothers or not.
Yes, they're brothers.
Yeah, and of course, Avengers broke the Infinity War. The Infinity War broke the pre-sales for Black Panther, and I'm also looking at it set the new record for the Thursday night previews, the single Sunday, and of course the Saturday singles. You guys, hii movie nasikia imeuza kuuza, sijui ni white people wamejamjua hii story.
I think it's white people.
And of course, black people are now angry. I'm sorry we're talking about race right now, but we want to just jump straight into the Kanye West story. This guy is back, and when he came back, he announced that he's going to be releasing 2 albums. That's after the big rant before Apelekwe rehab and stuff like that.
Rant.
Now he's back. He came back with Gliders, which did not perform well with Nike. I thought that he was going to perform well, by the way, because he's one of the best fashion designers.
Exactly. Yeezy.
But then, it didn't happen.
It didn't.
And then, now...
he's coming back with all these crazy, crazy talk. But you know what, Brian? By the way, I feel him. I feel him 100%. Even though he was like, slavery is a choice, I feel like he meant that psychologically.
Not
I feel like, please, like...
For those people who are asking themselves that Kanye alifanya nini, Kanye anasema 400 years in slavery was more a matter of choice for the black people. So nataka usikie sauti ya Kanye mwenyewe akisema hii story, usikie vile alisema. Sisi yao.
Slavery for 400 years? For 400 years? That sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
So that statement was one of the most ignorant statements that anybody that came from the hood could ever say about their ancestors, that slavery is a choice.
2 days after I got off of opioids, and I was addicted to opioids, 2 days I got off of opioids, I'm in the hospital. Plastic surgery because I was trying to look good for y'all. I got liposuction because I didn't want y'all to call me fat like y'all called Rob at the wedding and made him fly home. We are following other people's opinions. We are controlled by the media. And today, it all changed.
Well, that's Kanye West. I have one big lash like as a response to whatever he said. I just feel like 400 years was not a matter of choice. Imagine that mlikuwa mnapelekwa kwa slave ship, some die on the way there, and of course, mnafika huko hivyo kwa plantations, they divide your families and you're sold in different whatever, like buy one get one free and stuff like that. Sure. I was in South Carolina, and it actually felt a little bit bad to actually realize how these people were being sold. And later on, I think slavery is mental.
Yes.
True.
Yes,
but
that is what I'm trying to say.
People actually didn't get what Kanye was trying to say.
Thank you. And remember, he admitted that he was doped out on drugs after his liposuction surgery.
But you need to see will.i.am's response. We're going to talk about that story some other day, but Kanye West,
we still love you, and I support you 100%. Now, moving on to something controversial, R. Kelly. Now, there's this Mute R. Kelly hashtag that has been trending on Twitter because people want to see R. Kelly put away. Right after Bill Cosby was convicted last week, 30 years for sexual assault.
Trust.
And people are...
So for Bill Cosby, it was 62 women, right?
Yes.
Why is it that they're convicting him for 3 violations?
There's no...
Wamshike tu for hizo miaka zote, wachukue tu 62 times 10, wamshike for 610 years, but I guess I'm not the judge. This is R. Kelly, one of America's sensational singer. This guy, akidecide kuimba gospel, mtaokoka, akidecide kuimba secular, mtaharibika. This is the same old guy, mwenye he's such a fashion guru. Violations have been put against him over the years, but nobody has taken it seriously. So there's this organization called Time's Up movement, which is calling on business to boycott on R. Kelly following years of sexual allegations. So, sai kila mtu ameona Bill Cosby ameenda, now it's time for R. Kelly to go, but then that's a matter of choice, depending on what they will agree or what they'll say, depending on the verdict, basically. And of course, they had a response. That is the management of R. Kelly. Walisema, we will vigorously resist this attempted public lynching of a black man. And they also added that R. Kelly supports pro-women's goals on the Time's Up movement. So they feel that because he's supporting one of their projects, they need not to carry forth with this fight because they are spoiling a name for R. Kelly.
Yes.
But the big question is, let's look at the big picture now.
Yes.
The big picture is, when R. Kelly is relevant, he doesn't go to jail. When he gradually becomes irrelevant is when they want to take him to jail. That's a thing to think about, because R. Kelly, since Bill Cosby, since 1960, he started his career well. Up until he wanted to buy NBC, then everything goes left.
Yeah.
That's a story for another day.
I was such a huge fan of The Cosby Show. I mean, I grew up with that man. So for him to be like this monster that they're portraying him to be, it's very painful. But I don't understand, what's the point of sending him to prison for 30 years? He's probably not even going to last 5.
Definitely. I just want you to look at this trailer. It's a trailer of, it's actually a documentary done by our very own Fahma Mohammed. She is legit. You need to watch this trailer, alafu mcheki for your own, mtuambie feedback hapo hivyo #YouthCafe. Sisi yao.
Just 267 kilometers north of Garissa town lies a community of about 26,000 residents, most of whom work as pastoralists, hawkers, teachers, and religious leaders. Although the majority of residents here are practicing Muslims, the community is deeply entrenched in tradition and culture. Maslaha is a Somali word which translates to reconciliation or peace offering. It is often used in Somali culture as a form of mediation to avoid public use of prosecution. But the issue remains, does maslaha apply in all cases, or does it impede with the judiciary process in criminal cases like rape?
For us, the people who comes from the northern and Somali, people who practice Somali culture, maslaha has helped us a lot in terms of dispute resolutions. It's an alternative dispute resolution mechanism. In terms of land disputes, if there is a conflict among clans, if there is, small offenses, it helps. But when it comes to rape and sexual offenses, maslaha does not help.
Kutumia simu haijakuwa kisheria kwamba ni makosa, lakini tunashirikiana kwa baraza, tumeongelesha wazee, kwa imamu tumekuwa na mkutano na maimamu hapa ni wengi, kusema kwamba waendelee na kuhubiri maadili mema kwa hawa vijana, kwa sababu mambo yale ya kuona hizo simu video mbaya mbaya ni mambo ambayo yanahitaji mambo ya spiritual guidance, na hiyo tunaongea kwa baraza. Wazee tumeongelesha, wazazi wamekuwa hapo, wamesikia kwamba watoto waongeleshwe ili wasiendelee, na pia hata tumeambia wazazi si vizuri kununulia mtoto mchanga simu hiyo ya smartphone.
Fahma Mohammed is here with us just to make sure that we get to understand this rape culture in different parts of the country. You better watch out for that documentary. Karibu sana.
Santi.
Welcome to the show.
But you're looking fab.
Thank you. Can I just do a twirl?
True to say, how first of all did you choose this story as a story of interest?
I actually did this story for breaking news. It was mid-Feb. A young girl was flown into Wilson, and I was sent on that story. And so then when I saw that girl and we followed her to hospital and she had to have reconstructive surgery, and she's only 15, imagine. So it was like, for me, it just hit close to home. Like, she's a part of my community. She's, you know, only 15. Most of those girls are like, have gone through FGM one form or another, you get. So like a lot of that, like it just hit me, and I was just like, oh my God, does this really happen?
1 out of 3 girls in Nairobi, not in the country, in Nairobi. But then what are the figures looking like across the country?
So since 2008, 1 in 20 girls, not girls, women and children report rape in Kenya. But only 1 in 6 seek medical attention. So it's really sad, because if you think about it, we're not just talking about Nairobi, we're talking about all of Kenya. That's 1.9 cases out of every 100,000 are reported in Kenya. So like, if you look at the numbers, we have obviously a population of over 40 million. Like, you can see that a lot of cases aren't reported. And I think it is important that you guys address the issue between rape and defilement. I'm really addressing defilement a lot of the time.
You're focusing mostly on children.
Exactly.
Okay, and with statistics like the report by the Access to Justice said that 72.6% of sexual assault cases occurred in 2015, but only 5% of this are reported. Is it the same in Wajir?
Not necessarily. Actually, other than Nairobi, in most counties, rape or defilement is resolved through clan elders. And so this is what my story is addressing, this concept of maslaha. So in the Somali community, masla means peace offering or reconciliation. Essentially, it's when the clan elders come together and try and resolve an issue. So in the Somali community, they compensate the family of the victim and offer a said 4 cows for a girl's virginity. So you understand, in our culture, like, that girl is basically ruined. She can't get married. Who's going to marry her? She's not a virgin anymore.
I'm actually thinking about the stigma, more about the stigma.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to look at this girl in the village. You know that your parents were given 4 cows.
Yes.
And you're defiled. You see the person each and every single day. They have a wife who sits in the house and they're like, yeah, my husband defiled so-and-so, but then this is the justice that was passed. So do you feel like in the rural areas, people are being affected by this matter, but then they have like localized ways of solving issues? Is that the right way? And do you think the government should intervene?
Yes, definitely. The government should definitely intervene. But I think this is more like a cultural issue. It's not just in the Somali community. It's in communities all over, ethnic groups all over Kenya. Essentially, you know, they're resolving rape or defilement by compensating a family by cattle. Like, what is that going to do? And one, that cattle doesn't go to that young girl or young boy who has been defiled. So it's really, really shocking.
Let me ask you a question. There is an incident in Bumula. I know you haven't covered Bumula, but then it said that most of these cases are in between like family members.
within
like
the
you
home.
find an uncle has raped their niece or something like that, or an elderly person has raped someone else, you know, like a small child in the village. Do you think that we are domesticating all these things? We are just putting it in the background and not creating focus on what it can do to an individual and to the community that will rise as a result of that individual who's been defiled?
Yeah, definitely. In the cases that I have studied, the majority of those people who were raped or defiled were raped by someone they knew. So I'll give you an example. I interviewed a young girl who is 12 years old. She was defiled by her uncle. Another case of a 15-year-old girl who was gang raped. She knew one of the culprits, who was her neighbor, and the other boys were like his friends, I guess. So a lot of the time, these victims are defiled or they're raped by people that they know, with the exception of cosmopolitan areas like Nairobi. So in Kenya, actually, you know, all these numbers that we're talking about, if I can break it down so viewers can understand, since, I would say, 2006, rape has actually fluctuated in Kenya. So it has only risen in years of post-election violence, essentially. So from 2006, obviously, we had that post-election violence, 07, 08.
Was it rampant?
Yes. So it wasn't necessarily rampant. I would say fluctuation is the word. It fluctuated, it increased, but then it went back down. By 2012, it went back up again. And obviously, last year was an election year, it went back up.
So let me ask, do you think the political atmosphere is a big contributor to such a conducive environment for such a crime?
Yes, definitely. I think the issue is like, during a political year, we're so focused on politics that crime actually rises, even in, you know, cosmopolitan cities like Nairobi, but also throughout the counties, right? So, you know, what's happening to these victims? You know, outside of Nairobi, they're not being held accountable. Like issues like rape and defilement are being thrown under the carpet and resolved through this concept of maslaha, right? And so that's kind of what I really, really try and tackle. I want the government to like intervene, and I want this process of maslaha to stop impeding the judiciary process. And a lot of these locals agree. A lot of them, unless they experience or know someone who has been raped or defiled, they don't necessarily stand up, right? But they want to. And now the town of Habaswein, where I went to, is my main case study, other than Garissa town. They essentially are really pushing the OCPD, admin police to rise up and start, you know, holding people accountable. They've even started night raids, and there is an 8 p.m. curfew for young girls.
Do you feel like there's enough awareness that's being created by the government? Do women or young people even know the different kinds of abuse that they can go through? Do you feel like this is something that needs to be brought out and create more awareness?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think people need to be aware, especially because in cases of defilement, you know, like the young girl I interviewed, it was so heartbreaking. She was crying. I didn't know what to do. I'm just like trying to set up audio equipment and things like that. It was just so difficult because I can understand what she's saying because she's speaking Somali. So until I translate for you what she's saying, you're not really understanding. But she still to this day doesn't understand what has actually happened to her. She's so young. She wasn't, you know, taught about sexual education or anything like that. So she wasn't mentally prepared. And a lot of times, you know, it's not just young girls. Young boys are being defiled as well. So I think the issue is we place so much focus on women.
Yes.
What about our children?
What about our children? Those answers are going to be achieved, or rather, we're just going to get to answer most of the questions tomorrow. What time is your documentary again?
8:30.
8:30, Kesho. Make sure that you grab a chance to watch Veiled Pain, right? Asante sana, thank you for creating time to be here with us.
Thank you, Famo.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Yeah, and of course, tunataka to make sure that each and every week ujue si celebrate msee mmoja hapa hivi Mdimbas, msee mmoja Mngori. Na this week tumechagua chali moja kutoka America. Actually, he's half German, half American. He's called Yego. Find out why. And after this, we're going to go for a short break. Tukirudi hivi, we're going to be answering this simple question. Should the laws against rape
be reviewed, yes.
That's the big question tonight. Tunaenda for a short break, but before that, Person of the Week. This week on Person of the Week, we jump straight to the main man, Jermaine Lamar Cole, unanimously known as J. Cole, a German-American hip-hop recording artist and record producer.
Count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it. Can't take it when you die, but you can't live without it.
The moment J. Cole announced that he would be releasing his latest album, K.O.D., his fans went ballistic, not knowing exactly what to expect, since the sensational artist has been low-key yet star profile for years, but my, oh my, Cole is back and never disappoints.
Money aroma, my girl, she got a diploma. She got white written all over.
This week, Youth Cafe celebrates J. Cole for his record-breaking streams on Spotify, where on the first day of the album release, the title track enjoyed a remarkable 36,656,086 streams. As if that's not enough, Cole beat Canadian-American rapper Drake on Apple Music when he registered a groundbreaking 64.5 million streams, sending Drake to the shadows by 1 million streams. And news has it that just 5 days back, J. Cole landed in Lagos, Nigeria, where fans were treated with vibes from the rapper's new album. And trust me, the stage was eclectic and fun-packed, filled with famous Nigerian musicians Tiwa Savage, Falz the rapper, Wizkid and Davido, among many more, adding fame to fun in the invites-only event at the Eco Hotel.
I can see the promised land.
As he toured West Africa, Cole received news that he is #1 on the Billboard Artist Top 100 chart, fueled by his track K.O.D., a straight jump from number 96. More reason to celebrate J. Cole. And for that reason, J. Cole is this week's Person of the Week.
This is KTN News. Ghetto's main objective is to help children protect themselves from diseases. Do you know how we get illnesses like diarrhea, cough, and cold? No! They are spread through germs on your hands. Your hands collect germs that causes diseases. You pick up germs from any surface, like when you don't wash your hands after going to the toilet, while playing. And then you can get sick because of germs. That's why you need to fight germs to stay healthy by washing your hands regularly with Dettol soap that gives the best germ protection ever against many illness-causing germs.
Wash, wash, wash your hands. What you have to do is bath, bath, bath yourself. Dettol soap every day. Wash, wash, wash your hands.
When someone you love becomes a memory, that memory becomes a treasure. That is why we at the Standard newspaper would like to lend you our support in honoring your loved ones during your time of loss. Place a notice from as low as 5,000 shillings only. All you need is the obituary notice, a photo, and a copy of your ID. Contact telephone 0719-012-555 or simply visit any of the Standard ad centers countrywide. The Standard, Kenya's bold newspaper.
Death and destruction after heavy rains, an emergency fund is launched. 4 people are killed in a quarry attack in Mandera.
Inafaa wawe na watu ambao wana translate ili kusudi tujue ni nini kimeandikwa.
Offending billboard is pulled down following public outrage.
Criteria here when I look at it was cleverly done to justify the purchase.
And National Assembly Committee questions the purchase of a Kampala property by Foreign Affairs Ministry.
This is KTN News.
Welcome back to the show, and right now we're going to be going into a very sensitive topic, sexual assault. And right here with me, I have the very beautiful Janes Amondi. I know her name is a little bit difficult, Janes Amondi, and she's going to be sharing with us her stories. First of all, Janes, thank you so much for being with us on the show. It's very extremely brave of you to speak out about your experience.
Thank you so much.
On this end, mimi nakwambia kuna dem moja anaitwa Libby Ndambo. She's a musician, that's why we are laughing. Nilijaribu hiyo jani kakataa. But she's also a champion for rights, women's rights, and that's why she's here. She's also a blogger. She's going to be talking, uta mention two blog because we continue, and that's how we just delve into the conversation. Remember, statistics inasema MSF did a statistics in 2016, and it says 2,421 women raped in the year 2016. So it becomes a big, big problem. And that's why we have these ladies to just help us demystify all these odds. We'd like to just start with Janes, who's going to tell us her story. Kidogo tu.
Thank you very much. You've known me for a while, and over the years, I've used my story to reach out to survivors of rape or people who haven't found a platform to actually talk about what happened. I got raped in 2014, and I conceived as a result, but I only managed to talk about it in 2016. Now, my main aim to talk about my story was to just tell people, you know what, it happened, and this is my chance to actually reach out to people who have gone through rape, who have gone through any form of sexual assault, be it molestation when they were still young. So me writing my story reached out to very many people, and that is when I realized that there's power in blogging, yeah? And I've been working with a few girls and a few guys who have gone through the same, who are survivors of rape, yes.
Definitely. And Libby, why do you tell these ladies, like you're just on the forefront, I'm going to make sure that all these ladies get their rights achieved?
Basically, I am passionate about women because I think women can be the best versions of themselves once they identify their issues, once they identify that there's a problem with how they view themselves, and so society will view them the way they view themselves. So if the women see themselves as sexual objects, and that's how men will treat them, you know. So for me, I'm passionate about speaking about wholesome approach. So I don't just talk about rape, and I don't just talk about women. I talk about everything that has to do with a woman, career, men, everything. Yes. And my blog is More Than Beautiful KE. Yes.
Libby, you said you're an upcoming musician.
Yes.
Is music a tool that you use to portray your message as well as blogging?
Yes, definitely. I'm not a recording artist yet. So the concerts that I have done, I have made it very clear to people that my music has 4 approaches. My love for country, love for God, love for people, and love for purpose. Now, love for people comes in that aspect of if the women I'm singing to are rape victims and they are suffering because of that, then I need to sing a song either of protest on their behalf or a song that inspires them, that despite and in spite everything that they've gone through, that they can get past that and actually rise up to the occasion.
I'll just ask Amondi, there's some, according to the Section 8 of the Sexual Assault Offences Act, you know that anyone who's defiled below the ages of 11, life imprisonment. That is what happens to the perpetrator of this. And of course, ages 12 to 17, 30 years in prison, and of course 18 to 25, the sentence goes a little bit low. Do you think that that's good punishment enough? That's punishment enough. We can say good punishment.
That is not punishment enough.
What do you think should be done?
We were discussing with Libby and we were wondering why do they have things like bail for people who are the rapists? Yeah, why do we have things like that? Because the moment you commit such an act, this is a heinous act, this is an act against humanity. You're depriving someone of everything that was made for her or him. I don't think there's punishment that is enough for such. So sometimes I feel like if you've been accused of being a rapist, let us, and tuimalizie hapo, let us go to court, we end it at that, and a jailer, you get? Because the moment you're telling me there is bail, yeah, that means you can still come and throw words at me, nothing will happen to you. And it's rather unfortunate that the guys who are accused never really end up in prison.
True.
You get? The act is there. I was telling Libby before we came on that there's the act, there's the law against it, but there is no one who is actually working towards it. And there's no one who is following up. And I'll give you this. Just 2 weeks ago, I was at World Bank offices at Washington, and they were giving us statistics that are hilarious. Because as ourselves, yes, you're saying that things have been reported, but we are not seeing it. Walk into a police station right now and actually tell them, give me an OB of someone who where they record people who have reported rape. They don't have it.
Wow. Libby, your response on the same. Do you think it's punishment enough?
I think that whatever you do, it cannot be enough to punish someone for taking such a gift away. I keep telling people, sex is a gift that I give to someone. Rape denies me the power to give. And you can never take that power back from, you know, I can take you to life, I can castrate you, I can do everything, but it is never enough. And I think the issue is not, can we change the law to put more punishment for people? The issue is, can we change the cultural mindset of people in its approach to rape and victims and even the perpetrators, so that we don't even discuss rape. You know, if we look at the Bible, and I'm a Christian and I believe what was there is right, do you know when the wife of the Levite who was killed because of rape, this gang raped them, and then he went home, cut the body in 12 pieces, sent to the tribes of Judah. Do you know that the Israelites went to war just so that this heinous act can be punished against the tribe of Benjamin? You know, so we can do all those things, but rape will still be there. King David did the same thing.
I'd just like to get feedback from you. Immediately you were raped. Did you report it immediately? Did you did you report immediately? Did people believe you immediately? And was there sufficient evidence on the same?
For me, I never reported it because any survivor will tell you that the moment you get raped, you want to get out of there. You want to do everything possible to forget about what happened. It took me a while. I'm very close to my family, yeah? So it only took me till 2015, February, to actually open up and tell them, you know what, Dad, Mom, this and this happened. And for me, it was fortunate that they knew their child. My father knew me, my mother knew me. And they could say, Jens, I know my daughter, and if this happened to her, it really did. And if I would have reported it then, there would be sufficient evidence. But I started talking about it later, and that is what happens to most of the survivors. They never talk about it till it has weighed down on them, they're depressed and all that.
Yeah, that's how we're going to crown the topic tonight. Thank you very much, James, for creating time to be here with us. This story doesn't actually end here. Farmer Mohammed is going to have more information for us tomorrow. Veiled Pain. Make sure 8:30 creates time kuweza coach Mbulu Yako Mazejo. Make sure that we watch your documentary. And of course, Libby Ndambo, I'm going to follow up on your blog. Thank you very much for creating time. And we slide out. We are going with Art Corner.
Yes, yes, we have two new amazing artists who are on the come up. They are called The Tribeless. And if you want to get to know a bit more about them, stay with us.
Yeah, of course. But right now we go into Art Corner, where I actually interviewed Saint P. So look at that Kenyan prolific producer, CCL.
So my name is Saint P. And I'm a music producer, I'm also an architect, I'm a chef, I'm also a script writer, I'm a director, I'm a film producer, and I'm also a presenter. I've been in the music industry for quite a while. I would say I started professionally in 2009. Is when now I got my first professional job at Homeboys. So it's been 9 years now. Yeah, the people that I've worked with, like pretty much everybody, but talk about, Kelele Takatifu, DK, Kambua, Eunice Njeri, Alemba, yeah, Rika. One time, two time, let go. I really thank God because, not only have I worked with people who are actually out there, but I'm working with people who are, extremely, extremely talented. Yeah, so some are known, some are not known, but it's absolutely amazing. I've had a couple of times where I've shot videos for the songs that I've produced, but it's crazy if you're the one singing because now, at the end of the day, you are used to directing people, but now they are directing you, so it becomes kind of like a problem. Put me in the front, it's tough than it's ever been. Yeah, they say I'm crazy as I've ever been. Yeah, and I will do not to sound like weird or anything, but the person that I anticipate working with is that artist that is not discovered. There is nothing that I can offer to people who are already there other than my art. But if I get an artist that is not known, like we have a project called Zinduwa Msanii, which, amazing artists, they've never gotten a platform, they've never had a platform to actually express the talents that they've been given. And for me, I anticipate, I just want Zinduwa Msanii to end and these people to come to the studio. So those are the people that I anticipate a lot because I believe I have something that I can offer them and I believe they have something that they can offer back. I came to realize that, there are people who are given talents, 1 talent, 2 talents, 5 talents and stuff. So what I've managed to do is to invest it back in my own, I work for 20 hours a day. So 3 hours radio, 2 hours this, 4 hours that. But also another thing that I've really, really liked is that I've managed to become totally different. You have multiple personalities for each and every job I have. Like in studio, I'm a radio presenter, I'm supposed to be funny. But when I come to the studio, now that's already another face. And now when I come into drawing or cooking or script writing, you see, so I become someone else. So for me, I always have that consciousness that God has given me this and I need to make sure that I work.
Creme de la creme, homie. Top chef,
Oh no, they really don't know. Oh no,
ini moto. Akufa juu, akila mtu hapa ndani kufa juu. We uko kwa kiti unajida, na unajua hii ngoma imekuna. Akufa juu.
Akufa juu. Hey, mazejo, hiyo shangi imenitupa nje kiasi. In the studio we're talking to this gentleman in the building. Mmesema mnaitwa Tribeless?
Yeah, Tribeless.
Hey man, karibu sana. This is Shia Jackson, karibu.
Yeah.
I thought it was all Shia Jackson. Mimi nilikuwa nisha make it, nilikuwa nishaambia mamangu, mazejo watch mbulu yako, mazejo kuna chali fulani anakam. And of course Dennis, karibu sana man. Talk to us about your music man. Hii muziki mlianza lini man?
Hii muziki actually tulianza last year. Tumeidu tu cause you know, we're just passionate about it. So vitu si uimba vitu zina content. Actually apart from kufa juu ni kitu tulienda kwa Cream, tulikuwa tunamvisit kwa studio. So Cream akatokea beat, akatuambia mnaonaje hii ngoma. Then I have another producer called Castello, who works under Cream pia. Akaniambia nakumbuka ile ngoma ile dance ngoma dance itakufa juu. Si tutuyo ngoma mbona unaje? Nikaona bede tukufe juu kufe juu. Then we tried it. Akakuwa poa.
Definitely. Mimi nataka kujua vitu kadhaa lakini Thandiwe naona nikao uko na kaswali kana kuchoma. Hebu ulize.
I want to know where the name Tribeless came from. Tueleze what's up with that?
Tribeless ilianza tukiwa na boys wangu, tulikuwa tumeenda Kiambu, si ndio?
Kiambu.
Sasa Kiambu tukiwa kaka nini fulani hapo. Gari kaisha mafuta. Sasa ikabidi mimi na boys wangu tuko Kiambu, yani Mluya, mimi ni Mkikuyu.
Ilikuwa ile time yenye it was so, yani kulikuwa na tension about
tribal clashes
and everything. It was so like, but mimi nilikuwa ngamse, you know, me I go everywhere in Kenya, so me I'm Rasta, yani.
Wagwan, na tunaweza penda kujua more about your music, but imelaunch hapa hivi officially, and we'd like to just hear you guys roga yo mistari hapa hivi, tuteme mistari tusikie, tukislide out kiasi, because we're going to be leaving the studio in the next few minutes. Kata imketu nikaa kama tuchorea, and of course tutawaacha na trailer fulani inaitwa
Johnny English 3.
Definitely English 3.
Yes. Johnny
English. Check your stuff ni sequel.
Johnny English kwa Mr. Bean.
Yeah, Mr. Bean. Inaendelea bana.
Siamezeka zako.
Ajabit bado ni mfani na bana
kwa.
Bado uko poa
Bado uko fiti. Pigeni mistari za akofaju.
Okay. Nimekam kwenye base na brand new move dance style naitwa kufaju. Nimekam kwenye base na brand new move dance style naitwa kufaju. Bend your knees, bend your shoulders, legs are teased. Now in the order left, I do the right, I do the left, I do the right. Oh, akufa juu, akila mtu hapa ndani kufa juu. Wewe uko kwa kiti unajida, na unajua hii ngoma imekuna. Akufa juu.
Hiyo ngoma ni noma. Mnanichocha na niko kwa studio mazejo. Mpaka nitaanza kupiga sweat man.
Tujali tukimaliza kutoka kwa studio tunaenda kufa juu.
Sawa. Thank you very much Tribeless for creating time to be here with us. And everyone out there, that's how we sign out. We're going to leave you with the trailer for Johnny English. You get kujua vile Ron Atkinson is doing. I'm looking great because of Joel Maluki. Tupatane next week. Change hayanzangi Friday peke yake, ni kitu ya kila siku. Sisi
kufa juu. Akufa juu.
All the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising dawn?
You're looking particularly beautiful tonight.
You're looking particularly beautiful tonight.
Ching.
We have a problem.
Good.
The identities of our serving agents have been exposed.
The country is in a state of complete chaos. The universe sends me you.
Sir! Yes, all right, Buff. We're going on a mission, not a honeymoon.
Yes, of course, sir.
Destination?
South of France, sir.
Arm the missile.
They're just cyclists, sir.
They're French cyclists, Bob, and they're obstructing Her Majesty's Secret Service.
She's the key to this case.
I'm not sure I've ever met a man quite like you.
Let me clear up the uncertainty for you. You haven't.
Virtual reality.
It's completely immersive, and some people lose track of their actual surroundings.
I think we can pretty much guarantee that's not going to happen.
Tell me the agent you've got in the field is making some progress.
Target acquired. This is a job for the shoebox inflator.
Don't open it in the car!
Can you reach your door handle?
Not really, sir.
Magnetic boots.
Brilliant, sir.
No one must have the slightest clue we're here.
Till we meet again.
That was sooner than I expected.